Hello. Hello, hello. I'm still trying to eat some dinner or breakfast. I don't know. I don't know what this is. But I've been staring at food for the past 20 minutes. Yup. maybe, maybe I can pressure myself into eating more of this burger. I mean, I cooked it. Probably should eat it. You ever feel that way? Like you cook food, right? And then suddenly you don't feel like eating it. But I know I should eat it. Because, I don't know. Like lacking the usual energy, I guess. I mean, I only woke up like 40 minutes ago, so you know how it is. I haven't even like taken a shower yet. I mean, I guess I took a shower before I went to bed, so it's probably fine. When something goes wrong with the cook, well, nothing's wrong with the cooking. Like, the burger is good. It's just, I don't know. The motivation to eat left as soon as I, like, sat down at my desk with my plate. You know? The UI looks updated. It does. It do look a little updated. Let me see here. No. There's a gallery now. Oh, remember all of these great moments? I remember when the first build came out and there was this CG and I was like, Brian. And I was so excited. is nice. Well, there was a lot of CGs in this game, wasn't there? Oh, I love this one. This one's like one of my favorites. Because like look how just nonplussed Debbie is. Like is so good. Oh yeah, there's that good one. There's that good one. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Oh, I'm missing one. Huh. I wonder. Oh, Born, hello. I wonder what I was missing there. Curious. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. Sure. IDK when it was added. Oh shit though. Oh shit. I guess I gotta like hit skip through the whole game to see that, I guess. I don't know. I guess I'll put my food away. It's not like I'm gonna eat today anyway. Needs to get this off this part of my desk. Actually, here, let me go grab another sody. Yeah. Okay. Oh. I'm excited. Okay, so I think this is the latest, the greatest Because it was in January, right? Was it in January? I think this was the last scene from the previous update. Is this Comic Sans? Okay. Okay. Give me one moment to get a little bit more of a setup thingy. We'll just click. You go in, you know? Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. The terrible change comes almost exactly 3 weeks later. We have... Okay. Okay. Cameron had been feeling strange ever since they got back home, like he wasn't quite himself. After a flurry of hospital visits, police interviews, and even harassment from the media, things had become strangely quiet. He's a he's a broken road. That's odd phrasing, but okay. Huh? Okay, that's fine. That just fell over. Brian Dubois, he do be Dubois, was a serial killer with a victim count in the double digits, with all the murders taking place over the course of nearly 4 decades. That got national attention, of course, especially since Brian appeared to be involved in the high-profile disappearance of a college freshman last year. The body cam footage of their dramatic rescue from the mines even made the rounds on social media for about 2 days. At the same time, a pandemic was picking up steam and media attention focused there instead. Okay. Cameron didn't mind. The lack of attention made his recovery much easier. His burst liver and several damaged kidneys had left him needing surgery. The hospital did what they could for his elbow, and the doctors were hopeful that with a full physical therapy, he could at least use it for basic necessities. While it did suck to maybe never be able to bend his elbow correctly or without pain, what really devastated Cameron was the weakness of near maddening tingling in his pinky and ring finger. So for now, despite being eager to get back to it, guitar was an absolute no. For now. But what about forever? On top of that, Cameron had been trying to banish that damn voice from his head. No, the negative thoughts from his head, right? Just a flashback, one of the shitty leftovers from his shroom trip. Either way, all he could do was try to ignore it, despite it making itself known at least once a day. Cameron, something's wrong. But things continued to feel strange. It didn't seem to be related to his ESP, because he could easily tell when that was happening. Ever since the shroom trip, a haze of psychic ability lingered around him, allowing him to capture thoughts and feelings seemingly at random. Downloading is what some people like him like to call it. He didn't have much control, though. Sometimes he wasn't even able to tell if the download he was receiving was from the living or the dead. Cameron even began to try and hone his skills and experiment with just how much he could do. And what he quickly figured out was that without some sort of illicit substance, his clairvoyance lacked a great deal of fuel that had powered his ability in Echo. That would make it easier, and so would being in an active location like Echo, of course. Oh. Echo is one of those locations, though, obviously, but there are so many others. He's a desert lake. Every now and then, Cameron would find himself pausing, like at the back door of Devon's house, as a chill would run down his spine. That feeling always meant an echo was attached to something, somewhere nearby. That's what Cameron called the beings. Not exactly intelligent or even living, but entities that interacted with or usually threaten the living. In that particular case, it emanated from under the back porch. When he told Devin about it, the bear knew immediately what Cameron was talking about. Oh yeah, I hear something moving under there all the time, like a person crawling around. Even Dad says he saw red eyes there once. Being more sensitive doesn't exactly answer questions, though. Like, why is it there? Where did it come from? What the hell is it? All he knows is that it's not a person, and it never was a person, because they're all demons. And while Cameron had seen the old spark of interest in Devin's eyes, he had told Cameron to just ignore it and focus on their visit. For now. Devin just wanted everything to go away, quietly, like it never happened. That included Cameron's abilities. Ah, I see, I see. That was at the end of the second week, and over the course of his life, Cameron would look back at that visit as one of the last times he was truly himself. He's a trailer home in the Southwest. By the third week, Cameron was recovering at a remarkable rate, and so Devin began to pay Artie more visits and phone calls. Ah, so Artie did make it. I thought he was going to stay a coffin. Arturo's improvements was also rapid, but Cameron was left feeling a little sad that Artie never asked to talk to him and would only ask Devin how the coyote was holding up. It made sense, he would tell himself. Devin and Artie go back further than even Devin and himself did. Sure, something felt off, but considering the circumstances, nothing was normal at the time. But at the third week's but as the third week progressed, what had been bubbling below the surface made itself fully known. The only thing that seemed to be getting back to normal were his dreams. Some okay. Sometimes he'd still wake up whimpering or crying, like a coward, like a pathetic little man, thinking he was back in an echo. Devin had it far worse, waking up in a howling panic, yelling about guns, chains, and death. Those were the times when Cameron did his best to give comfort and support, at least at best, as his patched up and sore body could manage. But now, with some time between him and what happened, Cameron feels like a part of him is missing, like he's not fully present. It's like pieces of him litter the town of his trauma. It felt like he was still there in a way, and when that feeling really started to set in, that's when it happened. A small pressure in in his right ear started to develop. It was something that he was sure had to do with the hearing loss he'd experienced from the shotgun blast. It was an irritating, yeah, it was irritating and it felt bizarre. They had set up another appointment with Cameron's audiologist a few weeks from then. The hearing loss was likely permanent, but then something began to replace it, right in the middle of the afternoon. Oh, this is a new background. Oh, okay. April 2020. I remember that month. Cameron started working again that week. He wants to feel useful again, and because they're both working from home now, it seems like a reasonable idea. Devin didn't want him staying, excuse me, starting yet, and of course, but Cameron wants that sense of normalcy to come back faster, and his shitty job had seemed like the perfect solution. Trying to work with mostly one paw does come as a bigger challenge than Cameron had expected, not realizing how much he used his non-dominant one. Typing is particularly slow, but he was getting better at managing it. Still, it makes him sluggish, and even though his boss is understanding, even telling him to just forward any rude customers her way, It still leaves him occasionally flustered in ways he isn't used to. After a rather harsh call that begins with, "Thank God, someone I can finally fucking understand," then ends with, "You know what would have been faster?" Cameron waits for the answer. "Anything. This is the last time I buy some chink ass phone made in some shit factory." Cameron rubs his eyes, wondering how different the interaction would be if they did face to face video calls. "This phone was actually assembled in the States after a Julian? Okay, pledged." It's not the answer the man wanted to hear. Cameron can tell before he even gets cut off. "Transfer me to your superior, please." "Of course, one moment." As Cameron reaches for the button to his boss's line, he hears the man muttering under his breath. Didn't they, I didn't know they hired retards for customer service." No big deal. He would get one of those every week, and according to his coworkers, it's gotten worse since the pandemic started. But why did that one hurt his feelings so badly, to the point that his eyes are welling up with tears? Maybe it's because he went through hell and back, and that man has no idea. No idea. Aw. Aw, Cammy boy, are you okay? Then his computer screen seemed to stretch far away, and Cameron finds himself grabbing the edge of his desk like he's about to fall over. A pressure grows in his right ear, and he realizes that maybe that's what's causing the strange feeling of being off balance as the world tilts. But no, he's tripping again. It's a flashback. Just a flashback. No, it's brain damage, and you'll probably feel like this forever. Brian poisoned you. Cameron holds very still, positive he didn't think those thoughts just now. Are you. Wait. And you are a fucking retard. Can't handle a literal customer stereotype. Just smash the keyboard and admit you can't work anymore. Cameron, being a paw up, brings a paw up to his right ear, where the voice came from. In his headset, is his headset still on, or? No, and you can tell it's coming from the inside of your head. You idiot. You stupid fuck. Worthless. After that, Cameron remembers very little except panic, followed by confusion, a ton of confusion. His thoughts make no sense. The voice that is definitely not his thoughts doesn't make sense, and now he doesn't understand where he is. The voice continues to encourage him to smash the keyboard, so he does, just to see if maybe it will break the bizarre half-dream. Devin, in his own study, hears this. After finding Cameron sobbing on the ground, surrounded by black plastic keycaps and bleeding from reopened stitches, a frantic Devin drives him to the hospital. "Cammy boy, you're not supposed to do that. Maybe I'll stop if you grab the wheel and turn into the median. For old time's sake." And he doesn't even need a fucking fan. "Look, Mom, no fans." The voice snickers. It continues to laugh at him all the way to the psychiatric ward. Oh, there we go. Okay. Are we in October? It's gonna be a Halloweeny issue or chapter. You know what I mean. After 7 months after Echo and 6 months after his episode, Cameron feels worse than he did right after Echo. The voice that had wormed its way into his damaged ear had disappeared after just a few days of antipsychotic treatment, but it returned again and again every few days. Whenever something upset him, whenever he gets into arguments with Devin, and really, whenever it pleases, it makes itself known. It comes in a deep masculine voice, though sometimes it's Brian, like in how it taunts and laughs at him. Short asides that were sometimes mean, sometimes meaningless, and sometimes boring, all about the things Cameron would do and the people he would see. It feels like it's trying to remind Cameron things aren't okay as weeks continue to come and go with manageable but clearly present psychotic symptoms. He had worried his he had worried his broken arm would stop him from being able to play music as well as he used to. It turns out he didn't have to worry about that at all because he didn't give a fuck anymore. Yo, reasonable. Like a switch, his interests, motivations, his want to do anything productive and useful seemed to just turn off. His thoughts process had his thought process had been wrecked, and the disorganized thought during his episode became present even when he wasn't having one. His his mother said she needed meth because it fought the feelings that her psychosis brought on, which was brought on by the meth. A vicious cycle. And speaking of which, he finally got his diagnosis. Schizophrenia? Is that what that is? Is that what this word is? Schizophrenia? Likely induced by the trauma and drug use in Echo. Not that it really matters what induced it, because the problem is that he had it. There's no taking that back, after all. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Oh, I don't know. What is this word? Prenol? Prenol? For restlessness? From medications. And PTSD. And okay, as needed for anxiety and panic attacks. His head tilts to the right, and before coming back up in a short of twitching movement twice. The symptoms of schizophrenia are devastating enough, but so are the side effects of the antipsychotics to treat it. Side effects that are covered up by the medication that caused even more side effects, which in turn are maybe more tolerable. The first antipsychotic he tried made him too tired, and he was finally switched after 4 months. His switch aggravated the dopamine in his brain, according to his last psychiatrist, and for some reason that meant that his childhood motor and vocal tics got to come back. Not just come back, but they came back with a vengeance, to the point that he got especially emotional. His neck and sometimes his body would go into an uncontrollable twitching fit. At least he could at least he could hide it, or at the very least, control it when he was younger. It makes him feel like some kind of freak show in public. His vocal tics would come up at the worst moments, and talking to anyone other than Devin would result in awful humiliations that sometimes triggered psychosis again. But when a vocal tic involved his diaphragm appeared, one that he's never had before, Cameron really began to despair. It would force him to exhale for 10 or 15 seconds before holding it until he nearly blacked out. Then it would release, and he would gasp in air again, a vision coming back through blurry tears, only for it to happen half a dozen more times in agonizing waves. It was a distress that each time it happened, it triggered an episode. He'd been left with so many tics happening at once that even Devin couldn't communicate with him. The familiar tightening in his abdomen, signaling the approach of another episode, was enough to make him whine and cry in dread. All of this because of that damn pill that's supposed to help him. 3 or 4 of those vocal episodes every day for a week, and Devin had finally had enough and found a different psychiatrist. This helped a great deal, and Cameron found himself trusting her far more than he did his first psychiatrist. She immediately switched him to another antipsychotic, one that she said would help his tics too. Still, when Cameron had been readying himself to take his first dose, he broke down and he had cried like a child. He even begged Devin not to make him take it, which just made the situation so much worse. Oh, what if it caused more problems to show up? What if it made him worse? Cameron read about all of the horrible, lifelong side effects that psychotics can cause. These. And his old childhood bane that had almost forgotten about. Tourette syndrome. The word tardive can be placed in front of any of those symptoms, which means that even if you stop taking the drug, and even if years go by, the symptom lingers. And then there's always the worry that tolerance might build, a supersensitivity might set in, and the dosage might need to be increased, and then he might develop a treatment-resistant form of these words. I just said this one, schizophrenia. All from these little pills, are wreaking havoc on the symptoms of his brain. More poison, more brain damage. Yes, yes. Cameron rubs his right ear vigorously. You're the brain damage, asshole. Fuck you! You brain damaged piece of shit. You don't take the whole bottle. Pathetic faggot. Think you can just talk to me like that, fucker? Remembering the management techniques his therapist taught him, Cameron takes a deep breath. Okay, time to take my medication. It's been a few weeks now, and my tics have decreased by over half, and I haven't had a breaking tic in 4 days. I feel like it's a good progress. What? Think is positive symptoms have decreased by maybe 40% over the past week. Good progress. I just hope my negative symptoms improve as well. That's my next goal, once I reach stability. His thoughts are his own again, and that makes Cameron feel at least a little better, knowing that some things are coming easier. He begins opening his pill organizer and pulls out the most important one. His psychiatrist had been right, and for once, Cameron feels like they might have at least found the right road to the new him. Despite tolerating palpridone, some much better than the last antipsychotic, it still causes the same side effects that make him need to take all the other meds. At least it's making his tics better. Though he doubts they will ever truly go away like they did in his childhood. Tourette syndrome? Devastating on its own, but still controllable and manageable with time. He has to believe that. As the sound of pills rattle against plastic things seems to echo through the kitchen, Cameron hears Devin in his study. Oh, you're taking them now. Just a sec. That was fast. Cameron mutters under his breath, feeling just a little resentful, knowing that Devin has been listening in on his thinking out loud technique. Cameron sighs and picks up the pill again, staring at it closely as if able to see its molecular structure, engineered to block the dopamine receptors in his brain. The root cause of psychosis, at least at the molecular level. It's more complicated than that. It always is. Oh. Devin comes in with just his underwear on. A year ago, it would have been a sight that Cameron would have appreciated. He probably would have put his arms around him and rubbed his face into his chest like he used to. But his sex drive was killed months ago, either from meds or from one of the many symptoms of schizophrenia, and it's just another reminder that he's not who he used to be. While sex is the last thing on his mind, Cameron knows it's important in their relationship. He occasionally would force himself to do it and pretend to enjoy it, but everything, aches now. And in the end, he'd find himself staring at the ceiling. Devin noticed and eventually suggested they wait until Cameron feels better, until he actually wants it himself, which only made Cameron feel worse. Devin's libido is stronger than Cameron's ever was, so he knows it must be sexually frustrating for the bear. But right now, Devin is just standing there, smiling pleasantly as he watches Cameron. Making sure you take your poison. He wants your brain damage more than it already is. A jolt of fear, a dip in unreality. Cameron feels angry at how easy the voice slips into his thoughts again. Useful poison. Cameron winces at the crazy coming out of his mouth. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. If that's what you're wondering.
Okay, that's good. Remember, it does seem to act up right before you take your medication, so don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, you know I don't need you to watch me anymore. It's quiet as Cameron swallows the pill, angling himself so that Devin can see. Then he follows it with the rest of the 5 or so pills he's holding in his paw. Cameron finishes swallowing those, and knowing that in an hour he won't be able to keep his eyes open. Right. Or do you still not trust me?
No, I agree with you. But we also agreed I'd do it for at least a year, just in case. Even if you said you were fine, remember?
And Cameron hates the fact that he's right. Yeah, because you don't trust me. Spitefully, Cameron turns to show Devin the underside of his tongue, as if the bear might be suspicious he's hiding it.
Cameron.
You gonna do a cavity search too? Hey, maybe that could be our solution. I take my beds and you can get to play with my ass. And Cameron feels the burst of anger from Devin, and for some reason it feels good.
That's kind of fucked up thing to say, don't you think? Is that what you think I even care about right now?
Devin's already sounding angry, quicker than he usually does, and suddenly they're in a fight. The ones they never had before Echo. Things must have gotten extra stressful from Devin if it's this easy to provoke him, and Cameron should do something to help him, to soothe him, but instead he wants this fight. Oh, here, I'll turn up the game audio real quick. Just a little bit, you know? I like the soundtrack of this game. We can turn that up. For a moment, he wants Devin to hit him.
Kill him. Grab one of the knives.
Okay, to punch him right in the face and end everything as they know it. Not much for them to lose anyway. Why are you all of a sudden intent on me taking my meds? I'm pretty different from college, right?
This is so different, Cameron. I know I talked shit about psychology before. I acted like I knew what it was about. But like you said, everything changes.
Wait, give me one moment. Here we go. It's because I'm a problem to you now, and you just want me to take what'll make me not crazy, even if it makes me feel like shit.
I want you to get better.
I'm not going to get better, Devin. This is permanent.
It doesn't mean you can't get better. That's the point.
And then I'll relapse.
If you relapse, we won't get any better.
I don't even care about the stupid voice anymore, or even the tics. Fuck you. I'll make you care, you piece of shit. But it feels like my soul has been sucked out, and I don't know if it's the meds, or the crazy, or just me, but I hate it.
I hate it too. I hate it so much. I hate that you feel this way. That's why I'm doing this.
But you don't even have a fucking clue what it's like. Everyone just talks about the voices and hallucinations and delusions, but what about the cognitive shit? I can't think. Nothing feels real. And I feel dead.
You're right, I don't. But you're all I think about almost every minute of the day because I see you suffer, and I want it to stop. Lies. Idiot. Fucking faggot. Hurt and kill him. I'm probably suffering because of the meds. It's like back in college, but 10 times worse. I can't even write or even listen to music anymore. I don't want to do anything. Come on, Cameron. This is the main reason people relapse. Their positive symptoms go away. They think they're better. Then they stop their meds so that the negative symptoms aren't as bad. And they relapse. You need time, a year at least. And maybe then we can start tapering off. But not now. And what if I do relapse? It's like only half of us schizophrenics that can achieve full 10-year remission. Medical literature, yeah, he obsessed over, pours out of his mouth. A shitty quality of life, up to 30 years off the average life expectancy, incurable. Then we'll try again, right? A burst of anxiety from Devon. While Cameron never thought hard on what he might do, he does suppose he'd consider ending it. Ah. Excuse me. There we go. Sorry, give me one moment. I will. We'll do that. No. There we go. I will switch the hotkey for that. That's fine. It's fine, guys. If this is how the rest of his life will play out, he's sure he will, eventually. But only when Devon isn't here to take that blow. Hates you? Wants you to die? The voice continues to talk, and Cameron rubs his ear, trying to guard himself. Right? The obvious sign of Cameron having an episode seems to bring Devon back down as well. The bear quickly hugs Cameron. I'm sorry! And those boxers are cute. Despite his sore and sensitive skin, it feels good after the burst of anger and sadness. I'm just sad. I'm sad because I had such a good life with you, and it feels like it was just yesterday, but it's just gone now. It's strange that he can remember his past life so vividly, the feeling of being mostly normal in his brain. Devon squeezes him tight. You always, talk about the new you, and how we just have to, wait for him to get here. We'll have a new life. It'll just be a rough couple of months, maybe a bit longer. Cameron sniffles. What is it? What day is it anyway? Like, the 15th? The 24th, I think. I forgot that your birthday was last week. I just remembered now. Devon laughs. Honestly, me too. Well, I can just celebrate it now. The hardest thing about that particular argument from Devon was that he completely empathized with Cammy Boy. He can't imagine being in the situation, made to take medication, and changes him so fundamentally that he's not in full control of his movement or even his breathing. The coyote is justified in being angry, sad, childish, and sometimes outright spiteful. Oh, hello, Badu. Oh, your birthday twinsies. Oh, neat. That doesn't mean that it isn't unsettling, seeing that Cameron lashed out and cry in ways Devon had never seen him come close to before. At points, it feels like he's watching the deconstruction of a life in real time. It leaves his stomach feeling hollow and sick, like it did days after Brian had to go at it. The thought of the old bear makes Devon so angry that now he wishes the man was still alive. At least then there'd be a chance for him to try and knock out a few more of his teeth in court during the victim impact statement or something. And the stress continues to build as Cameron's condition remains unstable. The transfer was scheduled for November, and Devin is trying to type up an extremely apologetic and professional email to explain the situation, and also requests uh, a possible video meeting to delay the transfer. It's a reasonable request, especially considering the state of the world at the moment. Aw. Aw, Cammy boy. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, his breathing picks up speed. Confused, Devin watches at the edge of his vision beginning to darken. He couldn't figure out why he suddenly feels as if he's going to pass out. The first thing that comes to Devin's mind is Arturo's older brother who died of a pulmonary embolism after a surgery. The one that already talks about casually while high, even though Devin knows it's still devastated by it. He's still devastated by it. Devin stands up from his desk, walking, and then sinks to the ground as the room spins. What? Pulmonary? Okay. Cam, I need help, please. I can't. Before he can stop himself, he blurts out Cameron's name, simultaneously questioning whether that's a good idea or not. Cameron sees his boyfriend die in front of... Wait. Cameron seeing his boyfriend die in front of him won't exactly help his mental state, so it's better that he's probably asleep like a rock right now. He pulls out his phone as he's on his knees, having pressed the 9 and 1 before a very groggy, sedated Cameron comes in, his expression as bleary confusion turning to fear. Don't worry, I just I can't catch my fucking breath. A look of recognition comes from the coyote's face, and kneeling in front of Devin, he presses the bear's head against his chest. Devin, it's okay. We're okay. Breathe with me. Devin's not sure if that's what the problem is, but after just a few seconds, it stops. Are you okay? I've never seen you like that before. Devin sees Cameron's neck twitch multiple times, and he immediately feels like an idiot. Here he is, having a stupid, breathless panic attack, while Cameron is having vocal tics that force him to almost pass out from not being able to breathe. Devin tries to get him to go back to bed, but Cameron sleeps on the sofa in the study, determined to be there if Devin needs him again. While Devin feels like he should be the one doing the comforting right now, he is glad to have Cameron there. So, that's what the coyote feels like when he's panicking. A scary moment, but Devin doubts he'll let the feeling sneak up on him again, now that he's familiar with it. He had considered therapy and medication, like he's constantly trying to find for Cameron, but a part of him has to admit that he's scared too. Besides, he's not bad enough. Yeah, he's not bad enough to need that help. He'll settle on what always happened. Helped him deal with stress in the past while it was being active. Exercise will be good for the both of them, actually. Once he sends his email, he'll figure out how to renew both their gym memberships, assuming the place is still even open. I'll just go on jogs. I mean, hysterically, I was probably more physically active during the during lockdown than I ever was in my life. I went on jogs and stuff because no one else was around. Cartwheeling in the streets, hanging, just going places, doing whatever. Everywhere was empty. Shit was lit. Devin steps out of the gym, taking a deep breath of the frigid February air. Oh, now this is a tired boy. There aren't many cars or people on the streets. Not this early on the Saturday morning. Probably because they're sleeping in like they should be. Devin instinctively begins to reach out for Cameron's paw, but he's not there. He hasn't been there for a while now, almost a year. Well, what he used to be is there, at home, in the urn sitting on Cameron's old dresser, along with all of the coyotes' other little possessions that Devin had kept. It hurts even more because he's almost certain that Cameron would have loved this city. He would do a better job remembering that Cameron isn't right next to him if. Quit thinking about me like I'm dead. I'm not. I'm thinking about you like you're physically gone. I do miss being physically present. I guess I could be dead, but it doesn't really matter. You're not dead. I'm just like your vessel now. That is such a creepy word. Just say like I'm your passenger. By the way, you reek. It's Saturday, so I don't have work. Besides, I'm not taking a shower when their air dryer temperature is room temperature. I mean, I didn't say I didn't like it. It's from a fresh workout. Devin grunts as he makes his way through the parking lot towards his car. You were pushing yourself really hard, to be honest. Take it easier next time. Taking it easy is what got you hurt. Anyway, the more echoes we can kill off, the better. I doubt we can have that much of an impact, Devin. The shit is old, ancient, even... It's a lot bigger than us in a lot of different ways. I just want to see how well this works out. If it can be done, maybe we can tell others about it. Start a movement. To kill off haunted places at the source? But how many people have their dead boyfriends in their head giving them psychic abilities? Well, I won't tell them that part. Just the psychic part. Gonna take credit for my abilities? Hey, I'm learning to fight too. You see how much I've been bulking up? Devin flexes his muscles underneath his winter coat and padding. Muscles he wishes he had when he'd fought Brian. I didn't know you could punch ghosts, and I wish you'd get a different coach. He beats on you way too hard. I knew that I was getting into it. Anyways, remember about the source. Usually it's some shitty person feeding these places. Well, punching real people sounds worse, actually. Either way, this is all a good workout. You should treat... Devin catches himself halfway through saying it. Even though he knows it's coming, and even though he tries to stop it, the imagery of Cameron's ruined face flashes through his mind. He should just be happy that the coyote is still talking to him. That he's still with him. Kind of. I miss you. Please don't do that, Devin. I'm right here. I want to hold you. You basically are, and I'm giving you a hug. Emotional hug right now. I might also be feeling out your muscles too, because you have bulked up nicely. And Dev laughs and wipes his eyes. Thanks, Cam. And Cameron watches all of this, but not that Cameron in Devon's head. The Cameron that avoided the shotgun, that survived. He's had these dreams a few times. At first, he simply thought them to be traumatic nightmares from a traumatic event. But this is one of those dreams that feels so real, he almost can't tell he's dreaming. They're not really nightmares either. Usually they're mundane, kind of funny, and kind of sad. The dreaming Cameron, for some reason, doesn't trust this passenger Cameron at all. This version of himself feels off, almost like there isn't even a soul to go with him. Otherwise, he sounds and acts just like he does, or did, before the diagnosis. It makes him wonder if he'd trade off, given the opportunity. Cameron isn't waking up, so with little else to do, he reaches out mentally and digs into the other Cameron a little deeper. What he sees lasts only a second. After tearing out Brian's throat, this Cameron immediately began communicating with him. But he began speaking to Devin shortly after the younger bear had ripped out Brian's throat. It's not an illness, not like what Cameron had. but it's still Echo. It's part of that town, and Cameron doesn't want this Devon to... Devon, he's back! A feeling difficult to describe comes over Cameron. It's something from from that dead Cameron, that entity that acts and talks like Cameron. The thing that's currently attached to Devon. He's tied up, bound with rope, with a foul-tasting rag gagging him. The big bear had been gone for over an hour, but no matter how hard he tried, he can't make these zip ties and chains move. And then his stomach hurts, and the meal Brian had brought him at the bar starts to come back up. He's going to throw up, but he's chained down on his back with a gag in his mouth. He's going to throw up, and then he's going to drown. A vomit floods his mouth. Cameron leaps out of bed, one paw over his muzzle. He stubs. Stubs. That's what that says. His toe horrifically on the doorframe to the bathroom, bending back the cloth so that he's left bleeding. Oh, excuse me. And almost ripped out. But he makes it to the toilet in time to retch up the small amount of whatever is in his stomach. Stop. His name was Alan? Allen? A rat, Cameron thinks, but the coyote can't remember the last name of the man who drowned in his own vomit. Cameron sobs, both for himself and for the poor young rat that lived a hard life, only for it to end by choking on the shitty food Brian lured him in with. After a minute, the coyote calms down and listens, thankful that Devon is an incredibly heavy sleeper. What he'd seen definitely happened, and even though the police stopped trying to interview him after learning about the schizophrenia diagnosis, he would still put in an anonymous tip tomorrow. Cameron knows there's at least twice as many victims that the police know about, and he plans to report every single one that he sees. No. Yes? Okay. Well. Oh, summer of 2021. Oh, hey, it's we caught up to the game's original release, right? Or something around that time? I don't remember. That was the first time I streamed Build 1. That was when that happened. Half a year later, Cameron finally starts to feel as if he's starting to live life again. That's what that says. Not his old life, but a new, unfamiliar one. Tapering down his meds along with exercising definitely helped, which is why he came here with Devon to visit Arturo. Oh, are we at Artie's place? When he sees his old friend, he feels a little better, just based on the shape of his amalgamation. Okay. It's a bit more full, and while it's still damaged, it's almost at peace. And Cameron knows that feeling. He's different now, and he's accepted that. But he's still Arturo, which the cat has come to accept too. He's just different now, changed like everything else. A terrible, dramatic change, but one that can happen to anyone. Things always tend to get worse, but then they tend to get better too. And Cameron knows this just by looking at Arturo. While the coyote did just want to see his old friend, he also wanted to know a few things. His methods are morally questionable, but he justifies it since he's tired of being kept in the dark. An hour before they get there, Cameron eats a piece of chocolate from his backpack. Okay, this should not be B-bot, right? This is he-bot from their stay at the motel. Devin complains when Cameron says that it was the last one, but the coyote knows the bear would lose his mind if he knew what exactly Cameron did. And that was a microdose. Wait. Sure. Stupid, idiotic, unbelievable, when it could cause him severe, lasting damage. Idiot. It might have been what triggered his schizophrenia, but his ability to increase tenfold even on his this tiny amount. Besides, it made him feel better. Of course he'll tell Devin when more time has passed, but the bear has shown almost zero interest in the paranoia as of late. Does that mean Devin abandoned his ghost hunting blog? His followers? Maybe he'll just tell him he's taking it for the mood lift. For now, he just wants to take the the emotions in conversation. Oh, it's cute. Oh. What I'm trying to do is get rid of this damn limp. That's what people notice most, if I'm not talking. Cameron smiles pleasantly, despite the fact that Arturo is more guarded and fortified mentally than anyone else he's met, which is the last thing he had expected. Artie is cute. He is. I was more looking at like, Devin shorts, but no, it's just me. I actually didn't even notice. Oh, well. You will next time you see me walk, anyway. I hear you're working on your masters, Devin. Every stutter, every struggle feels like a physical blow to Cameron, but he tries not to show it. He knows Artie doesn't want useless pity right now, and Cameron always hated it too. Yup, up at the University of Deseret. Sweet. In what? Mechatronics? Or robotics? Of course. And how's that, how's that progressing? Good. Just finished my first semester. And the place you're working at, they're financing it. That's really quick. I'm at the same company. It was always part of the plan once we moved. I still gotta graduate from for them to reimburse my tuition, though. No pressure. I don't know how he does it all. Work, school, cooking, gaming, and you're good at all of it. Oh, he's a gamer. That's just like him. He'd party and drink the night before a final, then ace it while hungover. Cameron is close enough to Devin to see the skin flush under his fur. While some might find Devin to be overly humble, it has more to do with a sort of imposter syndrome. Cameron knows it must be awkward to be praised for not having to study or work as hard as his fellow students and coworkers. Despite that, Cameron still feels proud knowing his boyfriend is already itching into a leadership position at the company. He has no doubt the bear will be doing incredible things in his career. So, how are things going for you? What are you doing these days? Weren't you thinking about going back to work at the specialized school? Yup, Spectrum Solution Academy. Is that what these words were? Okay. And I'm already back. I went back as soon as I got vaccinated. Still in RBT, working with kids with low-functioning autism. How is it? Great. It was almost like going back home. I'm supposed to have, 2 clients, and they've got about 5 on me now. They were so happy to see me, but they can tell something's a bit off about me, though. Sounds a bit rough. Is your recovery still going well? Artie visibly draws into himself a bit.
I like to call it progress these days, but mostly of the recovery is over, I think. Oh, I see. Is still silent for just a second too long. Cameron's slow response is mainly due to being distracted, having finally deciphered RT's general thoughts, feelings, and emotions. In that moment, the guard had slipped, and Cameron realizes Artie knows he's psychic. Of course, he told him that, but now he knows. But now he knows it, and truly believes it. And for the past almost 2 years, he had realized how much of this happened because of Cameron. Arturo is afraid of Cameron. Aww, but isn't it cool? It's not that cool. But like, come on, Artie. No, the cat senses the strangeness, the offness of who Cameron is now. Arturo almost wonders if it's possible that the coyote brought a piece of Echo into his house with him. That shadow entity, it entered him and never came back out, as far as Artie knows. Who's to say it's not still... Maybe it's like a management phase. That's what Cam calls it. Anyway, right, honey? Cameron probably... Yeah, Devin... I'm mixing up names. Devin probably, confused by the tension, tries to add more to the conversation. That's right. That piece of shit hurt you pretty badly, too. Yeah, really. It's the schizophrenia I was diagnosed with after that. I'm still trying to manage. Cameron suddenly decides to just tell Arturo about his own struggles, if only to look for some sympathy, understanding. It seems unfair not to tell him, for some reason anyway. For a moment, Arturo's expression becomes one of genuine sadness. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Cameron. Was it just what happened? I hope it wasn't the weed. No, I think it's just what happened after that, wait. I think it's what happened after that pushed me over the edge. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I see. That makes sense. Do they think it would have happened anyways, eventually? Cameron shrugs. Maybe. They think I might have been in a prodromal state for years. It's obvious I was on the brink for a while. Maybe he'll never know. For the moment, though, he feels like he and Artie had made a connection. Artie understands that they have completely different problems, that they're both life-changing, and the two of them are bound to these problems for the remainder of their lives. But then Artie senses that darkness, that bit of echo emanate from Cameron again, and he mentally recoils. It's been a rough road, but we managed to find more stability at the end of the year. God, it's such a pain in the ass trying to settle on the right meds. That took Maria a few years, I think. Hey, Maria! There's more rustling from the hallway, and a young leopard comes into the living room, Maria clearly having been very, very nearby in the hall. Why do you go? I just want to give you guys some space. We were just talking about how long it could take to adjust the meds. Maybe you can give him some more advice. Oh. A female. How rare. As she leans in to give Arturo a kiss, and Arturo takes it without a single hint of embarrassment or annoyance. Another solid rock in Artie's life, and one that will stay until the end. While Cameron would normally never invade someone's mind like this, the coyote doubts he'll have many chances to do it again in the future, and he needs to know if Artie's on a good track or not. Maria turns to Cameron, and because
they themselves, that is that word, have been friends for years, even a little longer than he's known Devin, and he can tell that this is weirdly set up. Oh, hey, antidepressants, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers. It feels like I've been through almost all of them. Yeah, it makes me want to sleep all day, but also tear out my fur and crawl out of my skin. Cameron likes Maria a lot, and just like Devin and Arturo, they slip back into the old swing of things. It's nice, but he can't help but notice he's been swept out of the conversation with Arturo. Anyway, the main reason I went back to work this early is because I needed something normal. Sure, things are harder now. Stuttering, memory shit. Can't really depend on the right side of my body anymore. But fuck, it is nice not being cooped up in here living on disability. But the only thing work has complained about is that I guess my inhibitions are a bit low. Wait, inhibition, is that word? Are a bit lower than they used to be. I swear I'm not trying to be a dick, but I haven't even noticed. No, yeah. They said something about too many words, too little tact, like 3 years ago, so I'm pretty sure it's just me. I can kind of tell that it might be affecting you now, but sometimes it's hard to tell the side effects from symptoms of psychosis, especially the residual negative symptoms. I mean, positive symptoms are obvious, but making your thoughts flow normally again, making yourself want to go back outside, talk to people, live, they tend to come back last, and sometimes it comes back a bit different. Sometimes it doesn't come back at all. Is it bad that I'm like, oh, this is a good camera face? Is it? Now, while he tries to hold a conversation about the tropics medication with Maria, he realizes how much things have changed. In fact, if Cameron's vision holds true, this will be one of the last of a handful of times he'll speak to Artie. It hurts. He leaves Cameron feeling a bit of guilt and a deep pit of guilt, shame, and even a little anger, but mostly because it's unfair and he can't blame anyone. But as he watches his old friend laugh and talk to Dev, almost like what happened never happened, Cameron sees a long, solid friendship ahead of them, and he's happy for that. Cameron realizes, even without having to read minds, that Maria is specifically there to keep Cameron distracted, to keep him away from Arturo. That finally shuts out the psychic part of Cameron's brain. Rather than leaving a hollow feeling, he's left feeling like he's been punched. Why are they treating him like a monster? Like he's the final thought he receives from Maria, and deep down, under her concern for Cameron's diagnosis, she's wondering if he's prodding at Arturo's mind. Arturo can sense that. His own sensitivity is subtle, almost too understated to be picked up on, but it's there, and that's why he feels like Cameron is carrying Echo with him. And Cameron is mainly worried that Arturo knows what he's doing right now, and his neck and cheeks become warm as he feels like he's being caught in the act. Maria mentions something about how she has a another word. And Cameron focuses back on their conversation, genuinely curious if it's gotten better for her at the time. And that's how the rest of the afternoon plays out. The reason he'll only see Arturo 2 or 3 more times in his life isn't because of Arturo or Maria. It's because Cameron knows he can't come back here and cause them stress like this. Cameron is no longer part of or welcome in their lives, and he won't impose himself again. Despite the hurt from learning their true feelings about him, Ardo's future is, if he has to sum it up, a happy one. Oh, well, that's... You know, Cammy boy, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, it's snowing! Oh my god! It's snow! I hate the snow. It's like cold, it's wet, it gets everywhere. Gotta move it out of the way. It's hard to drive in. Like, look, I can be excited by snow, have fun with the snow, and also hate it at the same time. It's the duality of life. Time continues on its steady, unrelenting march, and it brings with it both good and bad. The pandemic falls into the background. Political instability comes to the forefront. Money becomes tighter, but the world keeps moving, as it tends to do. It still leaves Devin almost breathless at the idea that he'd changed their lives in 1 week. While he has never really personally hated anyone to the point that he just wanted to hurt them, he does now. But that person is dead. He got the easy way out. For the first year, Devin wasn't sure how he'd continue his life. Cameron was either always sedated to the point of almost becoming unresponsive, or angry or sad to the point that he'd just sit in the bathroom and cry. The feeling of helplessness, yes, of knowing that Cameron wanted to be dead, that he'd given up on so much that he even told the bear he'd take opioids again if he could. And so Dev started doing things he didn't want to, checking Cameron's drawers, pockets, and his side of the closet when he wasn't around. He's angry at the medical professionals who sent Cameron home because he simply had intrusive thoughts. This had a Why is this hard? Why is this difficult? Why are letters like this? This said relived just like a minute ago. A second ago? What is this word? Relived? Cameron, though Devin wasn't sure. In fact, he knew it wasn't right, but Cameron was so happy, and it seemed to stop the episode. I couldn't parse the word anymore. It happens. Sometimes it just happens. I'm looking at a word and it's just gone. Where suddenly it's just individual letters and it's not a word anymore. It's hard to explain. But then over the next 2 days, he was in a deep psychotic state. His intrusive thoughts were actually thought insertions, and by the time they had got back to the hospital, he was screaming that he was actually dead. Words are always letters. No, it's you know what I mean. It's fine. He accused Devin of planting speakers in the walls and cameras in the mirror, which he shattered. Over the first month, it was a normal sight to see Cameron sitting up in his bed, brushing away non-existent bugs, completely unresponsive to anything Devin would say. But that's 2 years behind them now, and Cameron is finally starting to really live and become someone who seems to enjoy life again. Because while the positive symptoms of delusions, hallucinations, and depersonalization had been practically absent over the past year. The negative symptoms lingered. Devin had read about that over and over again. A lack of motivation, lack of interest in things that once gave pleasure, a lack of expression, emotions, and movements of confusion and disorganized thoughts. It was the anhedonia that scared Cameron the most. It scared Devin too, because what's a life worth living if you don't want to do the things you trained and aspire to do most of your life? Despite being able to listen to music again, Cameron decided a few months back he finally hung up his guitar. Cameron's paw's still weak, and it still has a slight tremor to it when he holds it. But Cameron hasn't touched his keyboard either, leaving it unplugged and dusty in their basement. The sight made Cameron far more sad than it did Cameron. He still wonders if he'd been more of an advocate for Cameron, maybe pushed for further observation. They could have stopped the psychosis before it truly spiraled. Maybe he'd been his old self. No! Wait, they need that umbrella. They need the umbrella. You know the meme. That one Japanese meme with the umbrella in the snow, where the person blushing and the other partner being like, yeah, that special feeling you get when you walk through the snow with your significant other. You know the one. You know the one I'm talking about. I haven't seen it in years. That's a lie. I saw it last year with hilariously Roswell and Dave. I thought that was funny. I thought that one was funny. But you know the one. What's wrong? You read my mind again. No, I can read your face. Devin doesn't want to bring down Cameron's mood. He's the one that wanted to come out and walk around in the snow, and if Cameron wants to do something engaging and active, Devin will do it with him. It is strange that they got so much out of it in March, and it probably would be the last snowfall. I'm just realizing how out of shape I am. Do you think I'm starting to get a gut? Like a bad one? That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, Devin. Aren't you on the thinner side for a bear nearing 30? Cameron makes a point at looking at Devin's midsection, and then prods through it, making the bear huff. Oh, it is kind of squishy. Devin blushes. You caught me by surprise, and you just got done saying I wasn't fat. You're not fat. You're a bear. I just didn't think I'd feel the pudge through your coat. Cameron tries again, but as expected, Devin is tensed up, and there's little squishing to be had this time. Let's sit down. Devin brushes the snow off the bench for them. Hey, I hope I'm not annoying you. And Devin closes his eyes in guilt, taking a deep breath. No, I'm just worried about different things. I'm happy to be out here walking with you. It's good for the gut anyway. Oh? Okay. Cameron rolls his eyes as they sit down. I'm getting chubby too, you know. It happens, and I love your body. If you want to fool around tonight, I could have a closer look. Cameron leans against Devin's shoulder. Only if I get to have a look at you, too. Deal. If we deem each other to be too chubby, we can go on a diet or something. Devin finds it strange that Cameron is the one usually cheering him up now. The coyote is worried about him, and Devin wishes he wouldn't be. Still, it makes him feel warm inside, and he leans in to his to nuzzle Cameron. As he kisses his coyote, he realizes that this is a good moment in his life. A day he'll look back on fondly. A day he'll look back on for comfort when harder days inevitably arrive. Oh. Devin glances up at the temple they're sitting across the street from. I always wondered what that golden dude with a stick is doing up there. It takes Cameron a few seconds to understand what Devin is talking about. The guy on the top of the Mormon temples? That's the angel Moroni? And he's holding a horn. He buried? He buried the gold plates? Okay. How do you know that? Some Mormon friends told me. Oh, Cody, the bull? Yeah. You think about converting. Maybe if they ever become okay with this. Cameron leans closer to Devin again. Devin smiles and they hold each other for a while. Something's on Cameron's mind though, but Devin knows to wait until the canine is ready. Devin, did you ever find what you were looking for? Devin immediately knows what Cameron's referring to, and it makes his stomach twist into knots. I'll only bring it up this once, but I keep thinking about why we went in went in the first place. I just wonder if you were able to, figure stuff out. Devin stares down at Cameron, and even though the coyote isn't intentionally pointing out Devin's cascade of failures into catastrophic failure, he feels it. I figured out that it doesn't matter. It isn't worth finding out, and that I need to focus on us. Devin feels the sting of the tears in his eyes, but forces it back. I figured out I made a huge mistake, and deeply hurt my friends. Brian hurt us. Cameron says it almost instantly. You just don't seem as happy or outgoing as you used to be. I know you're really busy with work and you just got your master's degree, which is cool, but you seem... Hey, it's like you said, we changed. It's not really a divide, right? It's like chapters in our lives. We change with each other. And the last one we went through was brutal. Yeah, nothing stays the same. We don't fully recover or become who we used to be. And still, we always want to go back to how it used to be. Devin feels a deep twinge in his chest, and thinking about what life would be like now if he just made the right turn. It's like how they say you can never go home again, because home isn't just a place, but it's people, and it's at a certain time, and when it ends, it ends. You can never get it back. Oh, baby, I love you so much, and I know it sounds dumb as hell, but I can be your home. I'll be around as long as you want me to be, so you can always go home. I always will. Sorry if I was sounding depressing. I honestly feel at home with you. You're the only home I've got. But that's weird. You know what's weird? I sense a lot from that temple, and I've sensed it in other spiritual places too, like those Buddhist shrines in Haoxian? That town, and even those little shops where you see mediums and psychics. It feels like they're taking in energy and letting energy out, like a portal. Huh. What do you think that means? I guess that there's hope for everyone. Lupita, Artie, you and me. And that maybe, instead of nothing, there's... Devin, overwhelmed with grief, happiness, love, and loss, kisses Cameron. And they kiss for a long time, and Devin desperately hopes his Cameron is right, because more than anything, he wants to start fresh again and do it right. Oh. For now, though, he's here with his husband, sitting, watching the snow fall silently, and that's okay. Because whether they disappear forever or go somewhere else, it'll be together. Devin feels a little hope reignite in his chest. They might be something. There might be nothing. But he's content to wait and find out. But that will be a long way aways. He's sure. Not until they're 110, after all. Oh. 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 Oh, hey. I mean, I guess we got to see a timeline in which Cammy died, so I got what I wanted. You need to add this track to the playlist. It's Bridge Cut. No, Boar, you don't understand. That's it's from a prior Archer stream. I swear. There's a time where Brian is alive. Let's go. Brian's alive in my heart of hearts. Deep in my Kokoro. Add bridges and bridge cuts to the playlist, both good. Okay. Special thanks to Zekri Muxkitty. What do we? It's fine. I mean, what was it, like several Archa streams ago I had said, like, so this game is definitely ending with them not being together at the end and Cameron being dead. Like, that's why that was my prediction. Aw, damn it, that looks like I could have used this as a clean rip. You know how annoying it was to grab the logo for this game because it's not in the game files? I had to, like, cut it out of the main title menu. Like, It's fine. I can grab this whenever I want. It's fine. Oh, it has a new... Okay, that's good. That's good. I like that. I like when game do that. I simply... No, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I like when the main menu changes when you beat a game. Oh, I finished it. Oh, that feels so weird. This was the first game I ever streamed. When I started the original channel. It's so... It's weird. It's weird. And but it hasn't been quite 2 years. It's almost been. Because I had streamed the first build of Arches on my birthday in 2021. Because I was just, I was sitting by myself at night and I was just kind of like, maybe
Maybe I'll just do this. Who knows? I'm alone. That's how that started, everyone. Is I was alone on my birthday, and that's why I did that. And now we're here. Isn't that neat? What are your closing thoughts? I mean, I really enjoyed playing, like, reading Echo. It's I'm not Echo, Arches. Arches. 2 years in one day. Amazing. It's I like how it's more intimate, has a much like smaller cast. You know, there's only 5 characters in the game, and one of them is Duke, who shows up in what, 2 scenes? Like, I guess 3. I guess 3. Right? 2 or 3. I don't remember. I think it's 2. But I loved it. I love Cammy Boy. I love being able to see Brian again, because I'm a bad person. It's so good. It's so good. We're in time to get the last CG, I guess. Like, wait, do we have all the CGs now? No. Okay. So we are missing that one. I like these. I like when they have a more animatic feel to like the CGs. I'm a big fan of that. That was something that I actually really liked in that was something I really liked in what's that game? Interia? That was actually like something I liked there. Uh yeah, I guess we can quickly grab that last CG, you know? Try to elongate the stream just a little bit. Oh. We will have to go to options. We will skip unseen. That's fine. Look at these. Oh, yeah, because we didn't actually see the portraits this entire build, did we? Oh, wait, no, that was this one. This one right here. This is the best Devin portrait. I love this one so much. I wish there was a shirtless variant. Jesus Christ. uh, it's fine. We can get there, boys. We can get there. Yeah, it wasn't till, what, build 3? I think build 3 was the first time I streamed Arches, in which I actually had, like, people in the chat. That was, I don't know, that was pretty special to me. I don't know. Like... I was like, oh, there are people in chat. Like, that's weird. You saw something different? Wait, what though? Was there something different? Eto! Uh, oh, well now I can't go back. Eto? Wait, where are we going? Where are we going, Ian? Where are we? Is it bad that this is like my Probably one of my favorite builds in the game. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, that one's also good. I like this CG. What? Oh, here he is. There's the boy. What was it around here? Where is it at? Was it before? Ah, Dookie. Eto? Eto? Oh yeah, the fun hole. Yeah, okay, so did we get there? Main menu? Give me a minute. Was that the... Wait. Eto? 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 Which CG is it? I don't... What? You know what? We just won't think about it. We just won't think about it. It's fine. It's fine. But I did the side story. Like, I did that. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's fine. Is another one coming out? Is it? I don't know. I haven't read anything. It's fine. But I guess, you know what? Just to stop myself from rambling, I think I will end the stream here. I hope you have all enjoyed. I have really enjoyed playing this game over the past like 2 or so years. Thanks for sticking around with me, everyone, and I'll see you around.